I am Groost. I hunt boar, hunt to feed my people. You are not a friend to us. You'll need to run faster than boar. Return if you must.
I have seen many an exile come and go, into the forest or into the ground. You seem different somehow. Different good, different bad, it's hard to tell at this stage. The name is 𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿, and for now you have the benefit of my doubt. Those bandits you've encountered out there, they're the dregs of Oriath, and with any foul broth, the nastiest chunks bubble to the surface. The lords of Larceny, Oak, Creighton, and Alira, the self-appointed monarchs of the forest, Creighton in the east, Alira in the west, Oak in the north, and this village, this tribe, we pay their taxes. I would never venture to say that life in Wraeclast is easy, but with those three gone, well, living here might just become possible.
The end of learning is the beginning of death.
I am Nina, keeper of the spirit. Are you a kind exile like 𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿? He is good to us, helps us. You will stay and help us too, yes? A beast hunts us in her dreams, a great white beast, tortured and maddened by bad men, a long time gone. She will come here one night to tear, crush, and eat. Her pain tells her to. Find the white beast and end her pain before she shares it with us. Be well.
You and me, we are the same. We dream big. We find new places. We do not tell stories. Stories are told about us. I learn the words, the ways of Oriath. You listen to me, and not pigheads like Groost. Then you will live to find more new places. The road, it runs east and west of here. To the west it passes the bandit woman's camp, then turns south to the sea. But you say it is now blocked. I have seen a strange thing in the rock by that south pass, like one of Groost's carvings, but of stone. You should go look at it. What has been closed might be opened again.
Hello. Be well.
slept. No one has slept. Not for 3 days, not since the black storm in the northern ranges. Not since the nightmares began. Violent and twisted night terrors. They whisper to us, tempt us, threaten us, beguile us. They promise terrible things in return for even more terrible acts. My husband, Daenerys, went to Alliston to find a doctor who might help. He should have been back yesterday. I fear for him. I fear for all of us. It has been a little over a week since the Black Storm. My husband has not returned, and sickness now sweeps through our village. Many have died, and those who have lived have changed. These were folk we once called neighbor and friend. Now they limp and stagger through the night, their deformities as grotesque as the madness in their eyes. Gone now since it all began. Perhaps I am the only one who still looks upon Lunaris, who remembers her name. Soon I will be gone, and the moon will go on alone. My husband has returned, and he hunts for me. My dead husband hunts me. Corin, too, and my uncle. Corpses rise and walk and feed. My girls, they walk now and feed. God has forsaken us. Lunaris is my witness. Tonight, I return to my family. Full the night of the Black Storm. It is full again. They have come for me. They have come for my daughters. Ravalo called out while the others skulked and muttered in the darkness. Corin went to them, arms open, welcoming. The nightmares told her to. My uncle tried to stop her. Ravalo crushed his skull with his smith's hammer. I barred the doors and windows, but they screamed like monkeys and beat themselves bloody trying to get in. I had no choice. I took my 2 youngest and fled through the cellar, following the tunnel to the mill. All we can do is hide and hope. God help us.
To heed my demands.
and not before.
Your trouble. I like that. Now what I don't like, 𝐿𝐴 and their thieving mongrels. They keep taking what's mine. I'm thinking you could do something about that. What's in it for you? The amulets around 𝐿𝐴's necks. The ones like mine here. There's power in them beyond reckoning. Take 2 heads and 2 amulets. Bring them to me. And take half the power. That add up right for you?
Really. I usually like rats.
I have seen warriors in black in the east. They are from your Oriath. Better fed, better armed than you, exile. Oriath did not want you, so why does it follow you here? You will understand what you see more than I. Go east and find these warriors in black. If there is danger to us, I need to learn of it. Going?
The white beast's spirit is at rest. No more pain. Take this in thanks from me, and from the suffering animal that you have helped.
when I'm ready and not before.
On this day, the second Socrato of Verusi, 1334 IC, the Army of Purity remembers its most devout and beloved servant, Archbishop Geoffrey of Frisia. As spoken by Geoffrey, only will and truth can prevail over the evil of our own kin. High Templar Vaal, commander of the Army of Purity.
mana.
are Dream Tender, my new name for you. Badness is everywhere around us. You bring us something good. Now, I promise to share. Let us awaken the spirit, bring even more good into this life.
The air stinks of thaumaturgy. I could learn a thing or two here.
slaughtered everyone! Help me!
I bequeath this transmuter device to you, Inquisitor Maligaro, in recognition of your devotion to our sublime art. May it be the chariot that conveys your dreams into reality. Malachi, Thaumaturge Laureate to the Empire.
Piety was after a creation of Maligaro's called the Baleful Gem. It's nearby and it's something that heartless bitch must never get her hands on. You have it already. Thank innocence. All right, take it to the Esmeri village by the river. I'll meet you there, for my days with the Ebony Legion are done.
The Oriathan girl, she is alive. She wants to stay with us, not to go back to her people. I say we take her traitor's heart to the chief. Ask that the warriors in black leave us be. I sleep less, but no more, thanks to you. Helena gave me these. Use it or cast it away. I do not care. I have no time for Helena's breed of peace. Going?
I gave the Ebony Legion my faith and my loyalty, and it offered me nothing but fear and death in return. Thank you for freeing me from both. I have nothing to give you but my gratitude and my knowledge. I know you have no use for the former, so let's hope the latter makes up for it. Piety led us into that wretched place in the hopes of finding a device named simply the Spike. Fashioned by Inquisitor Maligaro, it was said to enable the injection of 𝐏𝐀𝐓𝐇 extantia into living flesh. 𝐏𝐏𝐶 extantia being the corrupt energies locked within virtue gems. We couldn't find the spike, yet we met its most successful application. Keep your life to your own.
I have story for you. A good story, but not finished. I go into 8-Leg Forest in southwest. Meet the mother of all 8 legs. We fight. Big fight. From sunrise to sunset. I stick my best spear in mother's eye and return to village. Must not stay away too long. Must protect my people. Now my best spear still in mother's eye. Eramir said to leave it there. That my spear is a thing made for dark science, whatever that be. No, I want it back. But Mother 8-Leg would smell me from far off. Catch me by surprise. She doesn't know your smell. So you go. Get my spear. Finish good story with good ending.
So an enemy of hope has fallen.
This land has no time for avaricious little despots like you, Oak. flatter. When I'm ready, and not before.
Arteri, my beautiful captain. I wish it were not you, but I cannot bring myself to trust any other with this most vital of tasks. This is the only pass between the inner and outer empire. No further exiles are to enter the inner empire. We have material enough for our work. Ensure that the barricade remains in place, and if any exile should somehow pass through, kill them. I will send for you when my work is complete in San. Until we share our next night together. Piety.
The king of rats, Creighton, dead. And that big ugly oak, chopped down. You've made quite the impact around here. But I can't say I'm surprised. You've a powerful aura on you, bright as a sunset before a storm. Now, someone as resourceful as you would surely not have overlooked Oak and Creighton's amulets, the ones like mine here. There's power in those trinkets, enchantment enough to keep my friends and I safe. Give me the amulets, and I'll gladly make you part of that power. You need friends in Rayclast, and believe me, I can be a fine friend. That was almost better than Oriath and chocolate. You keep this trinket to remember me by on your travels. I'd ask you to stay, but I think we both know where that would lead. How does the old maxim go? Oh yes. Familiarity breeds contempt, and contempt is murder's concubine. A threat? No, my dear. Merely reality.
Reckoning, find you, Doedri Stamatis, guilty of the following transgressions against God. Perversion of God's creation. Promotion of heretical beliefs. Unlawful enslavement of eternal citizens. Torture of the innocent. Murder of the servants of purity. For these most severe crimes, I do sentence Deirdre Darktongue to burn at the stake till naught is left but ash. May her life serve as penance for the lives she has taken, and let purity sweep away the dust of her deeds from our firmament. High Templar Vaal, commander of the Army of Purity.
That spear. Yes, that is my best spear. The one I stuck in eye of old Mother 𝐿𝐴𝐿𝐴𝐿. I think you keep it now. Let the beasts and bandits fear you even more. It is my gift to you, from one hero to another. Wait, no, you need more than just spear and happy words for this great deed. You killed Mother of all 8 legs. You need prize. Here, when I found my spear in the forest, I found these too. You will take, yes?
Piety would have concurred with Eramir's theory about that northwestern ruin. The Vaal were a powerful civilization predating even the Eternal Empire, and Piety very much wanted to see what toys the Vaal might have left for her to play with behind those stone doors. Yet we couldn't budge them, not with that giant of a tree holding them fast in her roots. You now carry a cure to that problem, or rather a useful illness. Use the spike to inject the baleful gem's 𝐿𝐴𝐿𝐴 extantia into the roots. One day soon, Piety will find her way into that ruin. You need to get there first. Farewell.
Yes?
find if you can. Fascinating.
will not soon forget. You're welcome. Now.
Nothing like this happens until you are here. Bring back the light, or you will find my spear in your throat. Travel far.
You disappear into that Vaal ruin, and now the sky, the light, the very land limps as a leper. Somehow, whether through deliberate act or accident, you've caused this. Now we all suffer your consequences. Different good, different bad. We now know upon which side the coin has fallen. Fare you well.
I dreamed this. A vast creature. A thing of shadow. I saw it escape from a black prison and climb a man-crafted mountain, drifting up its 4 sheer sides like the mist that reaches for the clouds. It gathered at the peak of that mountain and ate the heart from the sun. You smell of that black mist and something else. Guilt. That is it, yes. Guilt is a strong illness. It gnaws at the spirit until there is nothing left, until you are one of the walking corpses. You want a cure? Find the man-crafted mountain, send the shadow home, and tell the monster to take your guilt with it. Goodbye.
What has happened? Did the world not rise from its sleep? How do we wake it up? Please, what should we do?
There's one bright spot in this darkness you've released. At least it was you who did it, and you can undo it, I know it. Had it been piety, we'd likely never see the sun again. Farewell.
The spirit hunts with you. go with the spirit. I greet you. Goodbye.
Strange ways, I've learned not to discount Yena's more vivid dreams. She's in tune with this land in ways I find difficult to comprehend. As to this man-crafted mountain she describes, I have seen only one structure of its like. Stumbled across sketches in the Theopolis archives, a piece of Vaal engineering, pyramidal in architecture. According to those documents, the pyramid lies north of the Frisian forest, buried beneath the mantle upon which San rests. I have no idea whether it still exists, or ever existed for that matter. Still, considering the current circumstances, there isn't much to lose in the search, is there? Fare you well.
It's a fine capture.
Not before.
What? Do you not have nets, exile? exile. Einar will write a mighty poem.
You have made peace with our land. For now, my spear is lowered. Travel far.
Humanity has one redeeming trait. We learn from our mistakes. You certainly gave us a scare for a bit there, but the damage doesn't seem to have been lasting. Thank you for doing the right thing. Fare you well.
I knew this strangeness would pass. Silk does not run from such things. I stand, I guard, when others shiver and shake.
I am not surprised. I saw you, in my slumber, drive the darkness away. I am sorry that I did not tell you before. What I see is only what might happen, and I did not want to fill you with more confidence than would have been good for you. Stay true to you.
Thank you for returning our reality to us. I think we've all had a glimpse of what could happen if piety tries to harness the power of the Vaal for her own ends. Journey well.
A stranger like no other faced the wall of the Umbra, opened a pass in a sorry land, gave some hope to a sorry band of exiles and death-soaked castaways, a chance at life on a brand new day.
There. Thought you deserved one of my finest poems, written to commemorate such a mighty feat. Oh, and this. Been keeping it for a very special occasion. Consider yourself just such an occasion.